Welcome back to HLOT Gaming. Just a quick housekeeping note before we get into today's video. Based on the recent Fateless podcast, I'm not going to be combining that all into one video anymore, so there won't really be This Week in Godforge anymore. I'll definitely cover Tuesday's videos every week because those have specifically to do with Godforge, but the podcast I might not always cover. They're always at least, Fateless slash Godford adjacent because the people interviewing them work there and kind of talk about their experiences. But, for example, last week it was about an idle RPG, which didn't necessarily have a lot to do with Fateless, but it was still interesting. But anyways, let's get to today's video, which is all about the alpha. So Simon actually starts off by saying within the next few weeks, we should get an email stating which wave we're in for the alpha. He also said you'll have to reply to that and confirm you still want to be in it, so be on the lookout for that. He said also he would make sure to mention that in another upcoming video so you can check your spam folder when you know they're going out just in case you didn't see it. All right, let's kind of get to the first look of the stages. Okay, so the first thing we see here is you can 2-star each stage, so a little bit different. I was kind of expecting to be able to 3-star them, but that's fine. And this does look like 3 here, but again, that just shows you 1 and then the 2, what rewards you're going to get. And you can see down here, at least the first time you do it, I don't know about farming stages, but it looks like it's going to be 8 energy. And right now he has 148. His account is level 9, so I don't know if he's bumped up past some type of limit as far as energy on his account goes, but that might give us some kind of idea about how much energy we might have starting out. Maybe around 150. We'll have to wait and see. But at least we can see here, stage 1 looks like we're going to be fighting Icarus. That's how I'm reading this. Pretty interested here in these rewards right here. I don't know if these are placeholder or what these represent. A 2 and a 5. I'm guessing that's the amount. Maybe something to do with upgrading your armor or your weapon. I'm not really sure at this point. But he did also mention you might have to go all the way to the 100th floor and then come back to do the 2-star challenge after you're all geared up and stuff. So it sounds like it's going to be 100 floors. And then he didn't mention it here, but I'm guessing there's going to be sort of that damage check boss, if everyone gets to the 100th floor, who can do the most damage. All right, here's something I'm not sure we've seen before, the Falcon set, speed plus 15%. And that looks like it's a 2-piece set. That's how I'm reading that so far. We'll actually have to see when we're in game how it works. If I have 6 pieces, does that give me, 45% speed? That'd be kind of huge, right? But I guess we'll see. You can also see a few different sets here, like that one and this little green thing. I'm not sure what they are. Oh, and that skull down here. Okay. So obviously we're going to have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets, it looks like, in the alpha. So that's pretty cool. I'll play this part here real quick too, where he shows that he goes actually, levels it up a few levels, and you see it goes to 30% attack, and it looks like a common level item, as you can see, gray and then green. So 30% attack on, I don't know what those are for your legs. Oh yeah, legs of the Falcon. There you go. Seems pretty good. And he does mention here, obviously this is a bug. It shouldn't sell for 0 coins, so don't worry about that. He also clicks on the weapon right here, but he doesn't really do anything else, so we don't really learn too much more about weapons at this point in time other than you can get different rarities of it, it looks like, but we don't know what kind of stage level this will come from yet in the alpha. All right, let's take a look at some characters he actually showed. Okay, so the first one here is Bach. From what I found out, it's Serbian. They kind of hide in the shadow and drag their victims away. The stuff I read said their lore is probably based on bears in real life. What kind of skill it's going to have, I don't know. Speed of 84. Obviously, that's slower than the legendaries we've seen, but I don't know if that's slow for a rare or not yet. I don't really have a good sense. Haven't looked at enough of them. But, I'm thinking if this thing kind of hides in the shadows and pulls its victims away to kill them in the lore, it could be a pretty fast character. So think kind of a roguelike character, fast, but not a ton of damage at first, but can kind of gear up to it, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, here we see Tengu, which we knew was in-game. I don't know if we've ever seen the side view with the nose sticking out yet, but this sword looks pretty good. Let's see if I can play. Oh, and this is I guess it's still a sheath if it's a samurai sword. I'm not sure. But either way, that sword looks pretty cool, right? Like, if you compare it, that's like, I don't know, dang near as tall as him. So I have to wait and see what that looks like once he's actually holding it. He's probably going to have some pretty cool looking moves, especially with the wings. You know, if he kind of does like a fly-in move where he slashes, that's probably going to be pretty cool looking. All right, here we got Sigurd, which we did know was in the game before. I believe it was a kind of a concept leak. I don't know if we've seen anything in-game this in-depth yet. I can't remember exactly, but either way, we knew it was in-game. This is obviously the sword you kind of hear about in the mythology that he used to slay that dragon. I think it's Fafnir, Fafnir, I believe is how it was spelled. So I'm kind of going off of memory. But I am liking the detail in the armor as well, right? It's reflective, looks almost like scales, which could also be, you know, reference to the dragon that his mythology is based on that he killed. I don't know. I can't remember in the mythology if any part of it he makes armor out of the dragon scale or not, but that's kind of what it looks like. So very cool. I don't think he spins him at all. Yeah. So we can't really see the back or anything, but a good preview too. Chainmail, that's some good detail. All right, from what I looked up, you pronounce this Babi. This is an Egyptian god that is associated with the afterlife, souls and judgment, things of that nature, the guardian of the underworld. So possibly a resurrector. Also, we always joke about some of these characters not skipping leg day, but this dude didn't skip forearm day, if that's a thing, man. Like, look at this. His forearms are, like, look, each half is like the size of his bicep. That's crazy. Well, he's a baboon in the mythology, so he's a primate. So, you know, swinging from the trees, you might have some strong forearms. You're going to have a pretty strong grip. But I was thinking, too, you know, we always think in these games resurrection. But I was wondering if Fateless might throw us a twist we've never seen in a game like this before, where we have a legit necromancy skill that when you raise somebody from the dead, it somehow changes their skills in the sense that, like, I don't know, if it was like a flame ability, it's now like, I don't know, a necrotic ability. Like, it kind of changes the element of that skill. I'm just thinking, you know, we're going to have plenty of characters that are essentially guardians of the underworld, the afterlife, something like that. So they can't all just be resurrectors. They got to switch it up somehow. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to see something like that, even if it's not right away, but eventually some sort of necromancy type skills that we haven't seen in other gacha games, really. Okay, I'll just let this part play. He kind of shows off his different camera angles that they have so far that they've got. He also talks about how they had a lot of trouble with getting the 2x to kind of flow right so it didn't feel weird. He says they got that worked out now, and as you can see, the speed is 2x and it seems to look great. As well, he's going to show off some of Gilgamesh's skills, which I'm not sure we've seen before, so I'm just going to let that play to finish out the video. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know down below if you think we're going to see some true necromancer type skills in Godforge that we haven't seen in other gacha games before. This has been HLock. Thanks for watching. Bye.